Hi guys, so today I'm just going to run through a basic introduction of how to make a box for packaging. This could be in relation to the soap brief or any other packaging that you might have decided to include in your project. So how I'm going to start off is I'm going to do a little bit of a cheat and I'm going to Google a box net. So this is going to help me create a box without having to make the net myself. If you have a custom size, you might be able to find a box generator, but for now what I'm going to do is I've just Googled BoxNet and I'm going to look at the different types available. So on the side, I think I want to use this one here. So I'm just going to right click and go Save Image As. Now make sure you save it somewhere that you're going to remember. Okay, you guys seem to lose quite a few pictures, but hopefully you'll remember to place this in your H drive so you'll remember it. Okay, so from here, I'm going to open Adobe Illustrator. So this is basically a line-based program, and it's really good because it talks to the laser engraver quite well, so you can load up files straight from this into the laser cutter computer. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this is what pops up when you open Adobe Illustrator. The program's on any of the school computers in the tech area, so we're able to access it pretty easily. So I'm going to go over here and go Create New. So then this one pops up, and I think I'm going to go over to Print. So this basically is giving you the piece of paper you can work on. So it determines the size. So what I'm going to do is come over here and change it to millimeters, because I find I work a bit better in millimeters. And if you have a specific size of paper that you want to work on, you can change the width and the height here. But I think what I'm going to use is an A4 piece of paper. So got my A4, I'm just going to go check the orientation. So I want a portrait, because I think that's the way I'm going to store the box. So I'm going to go Create. And up pops our piece of paper. So from here, just to make this instructional video a little bit easier, I'm going to come up to this corner and just check that I've got Essentials Classic. This basically allows you to change the presentation of the program, and if we've both got Essentials Classic, it'll make it easier to find things. Okay, so your screen should look something like this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to import that image that I saved. So File, Place, Box. That's what I called it. And see how it's just on my mouse at the moment? I can just click it where I want it, and out it comes. So I'm actually going to make my box the other way around. So I'm going to go to the corner of my image and wait until that little arrows pop up. I'm going to grab it and just drag it around. Okay. If I hold down Shift, it actually changes in a nice, easy way as well. So I'll show you that. This is me not holding it to Shift. It's really hard to get it straight. If I hold down Shift, it locks. Whoops. So it locks around. So let's see. Shift, click, and around it goes. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so it fits on my paper nicely. So I'm going to hold down Shift again and just drag it out until it fills most of my paper, and then drag it down. Yeah, I think that's a good size for me. So from here, what I want to do is I actually want to trace this box. So I've got my own version of it on Illustrator, and I can always change it, move it, and alter it a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to Layers. So Layers allows me to organize things like underneath and on top, and it just makes it a little bit easier to control what I'm changing and make sure that I'm not accidentally altering anything that I don't want to. So what we're going to do is, at the moment we've got one layer, so that's our starting layer. I'm going to come down here and create a new layer. So I'm just going to click on that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock the layer below. So I can always unlock it, but I want to keep it locked for now. And then make sure that layer 2 is selected, because that's the layer we're going to work on now. So we're on this page. And I'm going to use a really helpful tool that I think will be helpful for pretty much everything you do on Illustrator. Now it's called the pen tool. So it's just up and over here. So what it does is it's going to allow me to make lines in the places that I want it to. But before I use that, I'm going to go down and make sure that I've got the lines I want. So this is our little palette here. So basically it shows us what our fill will be. So if I created a circle, this would be a colored in circle. It would be colored in white at the moment. But if I turn that off, so none, change to the stroke, which is basically the outline, I could put some color in the stroke, and now my circle would have an outline of white, but no color in. See what I mean? I can always have both, but at the moment I just want the stroke. And I'm going to make that black, I think. So I'm going to double click, go to my color swatches, click on black, and go OK. So now I'm going to make a black outline. So now we're going to try and use the pen tool. So if I click on my pen tool, this is a really basic method, but I'm going to just use that to trace around my shape. So let me see. Just really roughly trace my shape. So now I'm right at the end of my path, and I'm just going to connect the last bit together. So now I'm going to zoom out by going Control minus. And so I've traced around my entire shape. Okay, and now I also want to include those fold lines. That way I always know where to fold it, obviously. If you don't want to include them and you think if you think that's going to be okay, don't worry about it. You can just leave them. I'm going to use this line tool, line segment tool it's called, to create these lines. So I'm just going to click and hold down, put it where I want, and release. Okay, and then I can do the same this way, connect them. Whoops, actually I'm going to start from all the way down here, connect them, and keep going until I've done all of my connection lines. Okay, and zoom in for these ones. Okay, so now I should have traced my entire box net. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double check by turning off my eye on my first layer to hide the original box net. Okay, so you can see it kind of comes on and turns off. So now I've created my box net. What I'm going to do is actually create another layer. So the reason I do this is in case I make a mistake on my next layer, I can delete it nice and easily without having to delete my box net as well. So I'm going to create that new layer and just lock my box net in place. So this now I've got this box net that I can always alter if I want, but I can add things to it.